What's a harmless prank to play on your friends? After they leave your place, text them back, quote, "You forgot your phone here." Bonus point if you take a picture of their phone on your kitchen table before they leave and send it with the text. I'm doing this, holy crap. Somebody once signed me up for a bunch of free magazine subscriptions. It was several years ago, and I still have no idea who it was. One day I started receiving a bunch of random magazines, from home gardening to crochet ones, all in my name. I did this to my friend, a grown-ass man getting 3 different subscriptions to youth equestrian magazines. Still haven't confessed, and he brings it up from time to time. Never tell him. In my experience, they might not believe it was you, even if you told them. How many times have you done this? We have an Alexa at my work. One of my co-workers set an alarm to go off on a day I was at work and she wasn't. At 9 AM it started blasting Baby Shark. Scared the ever-living hell out of me. My old boss did this to his wife just before I moved out of state, except it was while she was home alone, and it was Celine Dion's "My Heart Will Go On" through the whole house. Grab a couple photos from around their house and snap a good well-centered picture with your phone. Then Photoshop something fun into the background, such as a dinosaur, Bigfoot, Elvis, or even just add yourself to a bunch of their photos. Reprint the new version of the picture in the same dimensions. Next time you're around, slip it into the frame over top the original. So long as you don't damage the original, it can be a fun game of see how long until they notice. I did something similar to a trainer's BO at the gym I worked at. I added the entire script of the B movie as a watermark under his flyer. Yes. Something similar. I sent large conspicuous boxes to my friends labeled Drive. Robusto's Micropenis Enlargement Kit. The side said reusable. Why not refurbished, like new on the side instead? Lightly used. Duct tape a harmonica to the grill of your BFF's car. When your loved ones hit 40 miles per hour, they'll hear beautiful wailing sounds reminiscent of Neil Young. The whistles go woo-ow. That's only in the morning. It's like an alarm clock. You should be up cooking breakfast by then. Hide excess Pokemon or MTG cards and their stuff. Had a buddy who was finding energy cards years after the initial prank. I did that with business cards to a coworker once. Corporate furnished us with business cards, but within a 3-month period, we had title changes, promotions, and a change in corporate logo, and I got a new box of 500 business cards each time, so only 500 of my 500 business cards were usable by the end of the 3 months. I tucked those cards everywhere in her stuff, and she was finding them for years. At work we used to receive these packs of postcards that you could pick what you're interested in and return, and then that company would send you their catalog. One of them was for air freshener, and it smelled absolutely god-awful, so they would come packed in its own plastic envelope. My coworker complained loudly anytime someone opened one of those cards. So I made a point of tucking one in the confines under his cubicle when he was at lunch. I always enjoyed putting sticky notes over the laser on their computer mouse and watching them try to figure out why it isn't responding. I did this with a coworker once, and it was hilarious. Instead of a sticky note, I taped a picture of a troll face over the laser. I listened to him make frustrated grumbles to himself for several minutes while I was trying to keep it together. When he finally turned his mouse over, he yelled, "Dang it, haunted _ice cream" from across the room, at which point we both lost it. It's an excellent, harmless prank. Definitely recommend. A friend of mine sent unmarked postcards featuring different chimpanzees to me about once a week for more than a year. They all had the same message. Having a great time. Wish you were here. Love, me. They all misspelled my name in different ways. They came from all over the world. She'd coordinated with a bunch of people she knew internationally. It got to the point where I saw my letter carrier, and he'd shake his head and ask, "Another one?" I never figured out who was sending them until she fessed up. I know this is a Bare Naked Ladies song. I believe that was the inspiration. Honey, why do you have so many photos of chimpanzees in your drawer? It is not what you think. I get it. I'm not gonna judge. Plus it's a good excuse for those of us who actually do have pictures of chimpanzees in our drawers. For my friend's 30th birthday, I updated the autocorrect option on her home laptop that, whenever she typed in her name, it corrected to old lady. You evil genius. All the scrolling for good comments is worth it, it seems. Every few weeks I turn down the speed of my co-worker's bending machine by like 0.1 mm/secretary. He noticed that his machine takes longer than mine. But first, he doesn't know how to turn it back. Second, he doesn't know it's me. And third, he doesn't know that it will get worse. Set it back to normal from time to time, man. Start the cycle anew. Gonna do it when I hit the minimum. Could that be dangerous if he's expecting bit to be really slow and then suddenly be fast? The rapid traverse isn't changed. Only the bending speed itself is manipulated. Also, the machines have a safety light barrier. On April Fools a few years ago I wore my name tag upside down at work. Whenever a club member brought it to my attention I glanced down at it, looked up confused, and said it looks right side up to me. Leave a random object on their doorstep during the night. If it confuses them enough, it may mildly bother them for the rest of their life. I mean, somebody left a painted rock on my steps and it basically made my summer. Somebody sent me an exploding pipe bomb full of shape glitter. I'm still finding glitter in my kitchen to this day, years later. Glitter. I just love the phrasing. Back in college I went to Vegas. While I was there I collected hundreds of those cards they hand out on the strip for call girls/escorts. When I got home I put these cards everywhere in my roommate's car. I put most of them on the seats and the floors, but I also hid them in the trunk, under the floor mats, under the seats, in the glove box, in the gas lid. Basically every nook I could think of. He thought the initial cleaning up of the ones on the seats and floors was the end of it. Nope. He was finding these cards for years, and every time he did he'd send me a picture of it. It was great. We have a tradition where I work that when someone quits, they hide a bunch of their business cards around the department. Some people hide them really well, and we don't find them for months. Steal something innocuous, like a pair of distinct socks from their dresser. Mail it to your most remote acquaintance. Have your acquaintance mail it back to your friend without explanation. Ultimately harmless, but their confusion after receiving something of their own in the mail from someone they've never met from a place they've never been is delicious. I love this. Plus you get to steal someone's socks. Username checks out. If you're in a position to do it, make them a celebrity for a day. When I was a grad student we did this to one of our professors. About a dozen of us coordinated to offer our students in freshman composition extra credit if they went up to one of our professors and pretended he was a celebrity and asked for his autograph, get a picture taken with him, etc. We made sure to give them all his schedule for the day, let him know where his office was, and just let them loose. He got stopped dozens of times to sign autographs and take pictures. It irritated the hell out of him, but he appreciated the joke. I really like this one. Especially if you give them some back history, so they can gush things, like I've read your article in volume 35 number 7 of the Journal of Meteorology dozens of times. I've read your entire Reddit comment history. Shudder. Yes, I have a very important meeting to be at in 4 seconds. Edit. Actually you know what, I don't even work here. My roommate and I are slowly purchasing frog decorations and just toy frogs in general, and seeing how long it takes our other roommate to notice that things are slowly becoming frogs. If they spend time on their computer, download the Nick Cage Chrome extension. It replaces every picture with one of Nick Cage. That's it. Pulled this one on my mom one time, and she thought we got hacked for a little bit. I had totally forgot that I did that. Edit. Thanks for the upvotes. And I'm now aware of multiple extensions that achieve the same effect, such as 1. One that rickrolls people at random YouTube videos. 2. The one that changes cloud to butt. 3. And one that changes millennials to snake people. Also, as some of the replies say, don't do this on a school/work computer. You don't want to get in trouble. I did this to my roommate, except I printed about 150 various pics of Cage and hid them around her side of the room. Her family photos were replaced with Cage. He was in her coffee pot, her closet, and her shower things. I even taped a small Cage on the bottom of her mouse. It took her a good 2 weeks to find them all. A former coworker did the same thing on a smaller scale, right before leaving to join the Navy. We were finding Nick Cage and Danny DeVito for weeks. Printer trays, halfway into a receipt roll, you name it. A year later, a new manager took over and found one on the ceiling directly over their office chair. Y'all got Nick rolled. Swap their M and N keycaps on their keyboards. Dude, that's so lame. Am I with a grain of intelligence is gonna notice straight away. Kudos for the effort made typing that out. No problem. Change their license plate frames to something stupid or stick a student driver magnet to their car. I have often thought about doing this to a friend of mine. He is really into cribbage and there is a cribbage themed license plate frame that says I love pegging. Makes me giggle every time I think about it. When I was a kid, I would put tape upside down on people's chairs and laugh when they sat on it. Eventually, they caught on that I was sticking tape to them and would check for it when I started laughing at them. Then I stopped putting the tape there, but kept laughing like I did. They'd look for it and couldn't find it. Shorter, more recent one that was well received was writing a bunch of dated fake diary entries and hiding them places I knew they could find them. They thought the entries were the prank, but there was one I didn't write, just skip that date. They couldn't find it. New term, psychobullying, because that is next level pranks. Randomly point at nothing on the ground. The all clear nail polish on a bar of soap is my favorite. Can you explain? I don't know about it. The soap no longer lathers because it covered in clear nail polish. Changing around the inside part of their pens is amusing. See them briefly THJNK, they lost their mind. Doesn't work as well on me cause I'm Carl or blind. I kept reading pens as penis for some reason. I was so confused / concerned / curious. I think I need to take a break from Reddit for a while. I plugged a wireless mouse into a coworker's computer. My cubicle was 40 feet away, but from my desk I could see his monitor, so I slowly moved the cursor to the right while he was trying to use it. Then slowly to the left. I clicked on random things. I stopped and started randomly. I stopped every time he tried to show anybody else, even though they were all in on the prank. At one point, while he was working on some papers and not looking at his screen, I opened the start menu and shut his computer down. I kept it going for a week before he was at the point of losing his mind and I finally told him. Edit. Holy, I didn't expect this to blow up. I wrote up another prank I pulled in the army and a few other stories you can find in my profile. Otherwise I'm not anymore used to you guys for entertainment. This gave me a good chuckle. I laughed endlessly over this one. Especially how frustrated he was getting that he couldn't duplicate it for anybody. They knew it was me, but they were gaslighting him hard. Bro, I think you're going crazy. Are you sure you're using the mouse correctly? He was googling the most obscure stuff trying to figure it out.